history of cryptography, right? The information uh, regarding the cryptography I have told you. Okay, so why we need security? I mean, हम security apply क्यों करते हैं? I mean, what are the different solutions to implement security? I mean, the only solution that we know, that is cryptography. I mean, by applying cryptography, you are going to make your communication secure, make your every type of communication, you are going to make it secure by using cryptography. Now, let's take an example of a hard disk or a laptop. Let's suppose if it has been stolen, right? You need to encrypt the hard drive so that no one else can read that information. Required password over hard drive or needs cryptography. Now see, this is one example. I mean, let's suppose if you are over an laptop, over an airport, or you are traveling somewhere from one point to another point. If your laptop is being stolen, or you have an external hard drive and if it is being stolen, what is the best way to overcome that particular problem? Most of the time your mobile gets stolen and you are you people are very much worried about that. What about my data? What should I do with my data? I mean, I have a pictures and all these things. How can I cope with this type of problem? So if in this situation, what you need to do, you need to encrypt your hard drive. I mean, there are many tools available, like I'm just telling you one, PGP, that is called as pretty good privacy, PGP, right? These are the different tools. There are many other tools that are available which are going to encrypt your drives, encrypt your computers, encrypt your different sort of hardware, right? Now when you are going to encrypt your hardware, now the person who is eligible or who is liable to see that information, he is the only person who can use that, or who can see that information, or who can decrypt the information. No other person can decrypt that particular hard drive or that particular computer, right? So what you need to do, I mean, being a security specialist, you have to encrypt your data, not data, but your hard drive that is being present inside your computer. Normally you people don't do that, right? But this is the way how you're going to secure your information, right? So आप क्या कर सकते हैं कि you are going to, if you think that your laptop might get stolen at any time or at anywhere, you must need to encrypt, and your laptop might contain certain sort of sensitive information. Definitely everyone has their own sensitive information, so you need to encrypt your drive, right? So for that, for encryption, you need a process that is called as cryptography, right? Okay ji. Then there is a concept that is called as DLP, data loss prevention. That mechanism is to protect critical data of an organization. Persons working in an organization has left the organization but have critical data of the company over their USBs. Dangerous for enterprise level organization, need to put some security for copying data from companies to computers. Now see, what I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you the situations in which certain security issues might occur, right? Now how we have to overcome them, we have to learn in the next lectures or something like that. But this is just the introduction that have to approach certain types of problem, and what might be the possible solution to them, right? Now data loss prevention is a mechanism that you need to implement, that we will learn in the future, but this is only the mechanism in which you might have multiple servers or something like that, and if your data is being lost, it must have certain sort of another way to recover that particular data, right? That mechanism to protect critical data of an organization, that procedure is called as DLP. But make sure we have to learn this particular concept in future in detail when we will be learning the cryptography and all these things or something like that. Second thing is, if the person is working in an organization, after a few days he is going to left the organization or he is going to resign from the organization. By using certain sort of media devices, I mean to say like USBs or something like that, they can copy the critical information from their computers and can sell that information outside when they are going to left the organization. Now, what you need to do, you need to protect your computer. Being a security specialist, what you need to, close the USB ports. You have to stop the USB ports, and you have to stop all those ports through which the user can transfer the data from that particular computer, right? So this is the mechanism that you need to implement when you have certain type of scenarios. A business is running in any organization. Everybody, let's suppose the people that are working in universities, people that are working in banks and many enterprise level organization. Now let's take an example of myself. ठीक है जी, मैं एक बैंक में काम कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है, and I think that after 1 month I have to leave the organization because I got some good offer from some other bank. Like currently I'm working in HPL. After some time maybe I'm getting some good offer from MCB, and I'm leaving the HP and moving towards an MCB. But what I need, if there are no any security mechanisms are being applied properly inside the organization, I do have an access to all the data that is being present inside the computers of that particular bank. I can copy that particular data, I can save into my hard drive, or I can save onto my USB disk, and I can email my data from my bank's computer to my account, and then I can copy that data from my account or from a USB. So whenever you are working in an organization, you have to stop your all type of emails, all type of chatting services inside the organization. You are not eligible to do chats, you are not eligible to do any type of file transfers, or you are not eligible to send or receive you can receive an email, but you are not eligible to do any type of attachments when you are sending any emails. You can apply these type of policies when you are going to make your organization secure, right? So these things you might have to apply when you might be knowing that okay, this sort of situation might occur. So before this situation occur, you have to make your organization secure by doing these type of techniques, or by applying these type of techniques, right? So this is one situation. Now, email security. In an enterprise level organization, email is very important entity to work on. Nobody is allowed to read or interpret an email of higher level employee of an organization. Needs to encrypt an email by using PGP tools, which allows encrypted email to be sent over the network. Now see, let's suppose in an organization, if there are certain emails are coming for the high apps or high authorities, and if that email is also visible to all the employees who are inside the organization, right? Then this is not a good way, or this is not a secure way, or this is not the secure policy that is being implemented inside that organization. You need to encrypt those particular emails which are confidential or which needs not to be read by the other employees, right? For that reason, you have to apply email security. I mean to say that all the emails which are being sent between the high authorities, they needs to be secure. How they are going to be secure? You need to apply multiple type of encryption. I have told you that PGP, pretty good privacy, this is a tool. By applying this particular tool, you are going to secure all the communication that is being done over an email. So no any third person can read your email or can do anything with your email, right? So this is another scenario. Then a very important thing that I used to discuss most of the time inside the class of computer networks, that is called as your VPN, virtual private networks, right? So I think yesterday I have told you that IPsec is a protocol that is being implemented with your VPN connection, virtual private network, right? Allows secure communication over an unsecured channel that might be an internet. IPsec would be used to send and receive data over an VPNs. To connect two bank offices in a city, we need to establish VPN connection for secure communication. Now see, why we need to create a virtual private network. I have told you previously, I don't exactly know I have told you or not, but I'm sure I have told you because I used to teach cloud computing also nowadays. So most of the things I used to tell them also. So I don't exactly remember कि आप लोगों को भी मैंने कभी बताया था या नहीं. लेकिन VPN आपका एक इस तरह का connection होता है that is going to be created over an an untrusted network or untrusted, because your internet is an untrusted network. I mean, whatsoever you are sending or receiving over an internet, that is not secure. I mean to say that, right? So if two banks, I mean HPL की दो branches हैं, which one is in Mehran University, another one is in Hyderabad, and they need to communicate with each other and they need to send and receive their confidential information through an internet. So they must not be using the public internet, because public internet is not secure, because they are sending the critical information or the confidential information, and if that information is being lost on the way, it might be creating a lot of problem for the organization. So for that reason, the organizations are going to make an internal connection that is called as your virtual private network, right? तो virtual private network में आपके पास क्या होता है कि आपका एक shield create होती है over an open internet connection. I mean, you are going to create a tunnel over an internet connection. Now your data is being moving in a secure channel. I mean, your data is being moving inside a secure channel, and all the data that is being moved, moving through the VPN, it must be secure between organization A and organization B, and nobody else can interrupt into that particular tunnel and can, I mean to say that, read the information that is being traveling from party A to party B or organization A to organization B. So the protocol that is being working inside that particular VPN is called as IPsec. We shall be learning in detail regarding how the VPN security is being implemented in the next few classes. And but you must be knowing at that stage what the VPN is and how it works in terms of security, right? This is another solution. Then we need to have a database security. I mean, if you want to secure your databases, network administrator might have an access to all assets of a company, even a database. We must have to ensure if an unexpected transaction has been made inside a database. An event log has been triggered for that transaction. Clerk is authorized to transfer 1 million in a day, but if more than 1 million transaction has been made, security event must be triggered in order to inform higher authority. Now see, I mean, up till now, what we have discussed security mechanisms. I mean, we have discussed VPN security, we have discussed email security, we have discussed organization level security like DLP, data loss prevention, and we have discussed hard disk level security or something like that. Now we come to in the last, we need to discuss regarding the database security. Now see, in an organization, we must not see that only the unauthorized users have an access. Let's suppose if a person who is a bank manager, he is authorized to do each and everything inside a bank. If he is doing such type of mischievous things, who is responsible to check that particular person, right? ऐसा होता है ना कि I mean, अगर आपका बैंक मैनेजर जो एक authorized person है, if he is doing certain sort of things, then who will be responsible to check him, or who is liable to check that particular person? So for that reason, there must be some security mechanism enabled inside the computers of your organization or inside the banks, so that if any unrelated or unexpected transaction is going to be happen inside a computer network, then definitely there must be some log, some trigger is being generated, and the information would be sent to the high authorities, so that they must be knowing that why that transaction is going to be happen. अब एक network एक आपके पास system administrator समझ लें, या आप बैंक मैनेजर को देख लें, ठीक है, वो क्या करता है कि वो उसको एक ट्रांजैक्शन मोर देन 10 मिलियन की ट्रांजैक्शन पर डे के अंदर नहीं हो सकती, उसने 11 मिलियन की ट्रांजैक्शन कर दी फॉर any reason, then this is not a normal procedure. It must have to be in response. Your computer or the information from where, from the computer where this information has been done or has been processed, they must need to trigger. First of all, they need to create a log. They need to, store different type of logs. Timestamps at what time that information is being processed, and they need to create a log, और उस log के अंदर information होनी चाहिए किस बंदे ने इसको process की है, and then an email would be sent to high authorities that this person who is an authorized person has done this sort of thing. So you need to ask him what is the reason, because you have a limit of 10 million and you do have a transaction, you did a transaction of 11 million. What is the reason behind that? Definitely, he might have certain sort of issues, but he needs to clear. I mean to say that जब आपकी एक limit 10 million तक की है, you are the high authority of the bank. Why you are transacting 11 million in a day? So you need to give answer to your high authorities, right? So this is how you are going to make your database secure. I mean, इनसाइड अ डेटाबेस, लेट्स सपोज आपकी एक लिमिट जो है वो 5 मिलियन की है, ठीक है। आपने एक अपने फ्रेंड को या किसी को कहा हुआ है कि आप 5 मिलियन के चेक आप डेली ट्रांजैक्ट कर लिया करें, लेकिन एक दिन वो क्या करता है, 10 लाख के चेक निकाल लेता है, 10 लाख की ट्रांजैक्शन करता है। आई मीन आपने उसको सारी प्रिविलेजेस दी हुई हैं और वो आपके चेक्स निकालता है आपके बिहाफ के ऊपर, ये सब कुछ। अगर वो 10 लाख के चेक निकालता है तो आपको कैसे पता चलेगा कि 10 lakhs के चेक आज एक दिन के अंदर ट्रांजैक्ट हुए हैं? डेफिनेटली आई मीन यू पीपल आर वेल अवेयर अबाउट द थिंग दैट कि जी यू आर गेटिंग सर्टेन सॉर्ट ऑफ मैसेजेस एज सुन एज सर्टेन अमाउंट हैज बीन डिडक्टेड फ्रॉम योर अकाउंट, एंड इफ एनी information is being added inside your account, you would be getting a message on your mobile phone that certain amount has been deducted or certain amount have been inserted inside your bank account, right? So this information is going to make you update that this is a security mechanism that you have implemented or the bank has implemented. If any transaction is being occurred, I mean, let's take an example. I used to give this example to the students. Let's suppose if I'm going to do any type of transaction over a credit card, I got a message over my mobile phone, and even I got an email on my email address also, that I mean a credit card number having the last 4 digits or such and such, that transaction has been made on Max Bachat or somewhere on the shop, and this amount has been deducted or this amount has been transacted during this particular time. So this is a very good way. I mean, if somebody else is doing such type of transaction, then I immediately going to know that the card is not in my hand and this is in the someone other's hand, and they are doing some sort of mischievous thing with my card or something like that, right? So this is how you are going to make your database or information secure, I mean to say that inside a network, right? So I mean, these are the scenarios that we have discussed so far, right? So to protect all these assets by different mechanism is called cryptography. अब ये चीज बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है। I mean, अब जितने भी हमने सिनेरियोज डिस्कस किए, I mean we have discussed the hard disk security, I mean computer security, physical level security जिसको हम कह सकते हैं, we have discussed an email security, we have discussed the VPN type of connection security, we have discussed the database security. I mean all these security, I mean how you are going to make all these things secure. The only thing or the mechanism that is being implemented is called as cryptography, right? Ab cryptography kya hai, that we need to discuss in future. We use cryptography to protect all these assets as we discussed in our earlier slides. I mean, as I've told you in the previous 3 or 4 slides, that cryptography is the only mechanism through which you are going to secure your assets inside the organization. Cryptography evolved from thousands of years and currently takes a current form that we are using today. अच्छा, अब इसमें क्या है कि what I need to tell you that cryptography is not being discovered in a recent 3 or 4 years. No, it has been discovered from the last 3,000, 4,000 or 5,000 years. I mean, you can think that it is so much old concept. I mean 3,000 to 4,000 or 5,000 years old concept, right? So this is not a recent concept कि जी पिछले 20-25 सालों में क्रिप्टोग्राफी इवॉल्व होकर एक आइडिया आ गया और उसको आपने इंप्लीमेंट करके सिक्योरिटी को इंप्लीमेंट। नो, सिक्योरिटी इज अ वेरी old concept. Cryptography is a very old concept. The older people, the older civilizations were using that type of cryptography, right? So to hide and protect information from outside world by using mathematical technique is called cryptography. Now this is the definition of a cryptography. I mean to hide and protect information from the outside world through certain mathematical algos, techniques is called as cryptography. अब इसमें बहुत सी techniques हैं. I mean you have I mean a lot of techniques, symmetric, asymmetric, I mean many techniques are there that we have to learn, and they are very interesting to learn. And I mean, you people have a very good idea regarding all the cryptography, but right now you need to understand the definition, that what the basic idea, that I mean, in order to protect or hide the information from the outside. I mean, what is the outside world? Outside world, I mean the third person, he might not be reading your information, right? Whether it is in the form of computer, inside the computer, or whether it is traveling from one point to another point, or whether it is physical. You need to encrypt them in order to protect it from the outside world, right? So, I mean, how you can do that? By using certain sort of mathematical techniques. So this is what you can call it as a cryptography. ठीक है जी, तो ये हमारा एक बेस बना है कि हम क्रिप्टोग्राफी क्यों यूज कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, व्हाट इज द रीजन बिहाइंड दैट, व्हाई वी नीड क्रिप्टोग्राफी एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स. सो नाउ वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द हिस्ट्री ऑफ क्रिप्टोग्राफी, हाउ इट हैज बीन इवॉल्व्ड बाय टुडे. सो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स आर प्रोवाइड अ पर्सपेक्टिव ऑन हाउ क्रिप्टोग्राफी हैज इवॉल्व्ड ओवर thousands of years, understand the cryptographic tools and techniques that have formed the basis for modern cryptographic development, and establish a foundation for the rest of the course. I mean, we need to learn in this particular chapter regarding the history of cryptography. I mean, how it has been emerged from the day one, and how we can compare it with the modern cryptography, and how it has been evolved from the classical to the modern. And I mean, based on that, you would be making a basic foundation for the rest of the course, right? So the history of cryptography began thousands of years ago. Until recent decades, it has been the story of what might be called as classic cryptography. That is of method of encryption that use pen and paper, or perhaps simple mechanical aids. ठीक है जी. अब हमारे पास पुराने ज़माने में क्लासिकल क्रिप्टोग्राफी किस तरह की होती थी? They might be using certain sort of physical things to do cryptography. अब वो क्या है? We will be learning in the future in the next few slides. So Egypt's old kingdom, यहाँ से आपकी इजिप्शियन जो आपके पास सिविलाइजेशन है ना, वहां से ये स्टार्ट होती है. ठीक है. The earliest known use of cryptography is found in non-standard hieroglyphs carved into monuments from Egypt's old kingdom. ये आपके पास मिले थे 4500 plus years ago इजिप्शियन से. I have visited pyramids of Egypt. मैं गया हूँ वहाँ पे, तो ये सेम चीजें वहाँ पे हैं, और आज तक इनको कोई डिक्रिप्ट नहीं कर सका कि what does it mean, right? Even at the same time, आपका ये जो मोहनजोदड़ो है, मोहनजोदड़ो के अंदर से जो इंफॉर्मेशन मिली है, जो राइटिंग मिली है, that is also not been decrypted by till today. I mean, nobody is going to read that information. दुनिया ने पूरा I mean अपना पावर लगा लिए कि what does it mean. They are unable to decrypt that information, right? So the same thing over for the Egyptians के 4500 years ago आपकी ये encryption का concept I mean arise हुआ, I mean emerge हुआ, right? Then we have, these are not thoughts to be serious attempts at secret communications, however, but rather to have been attempts at mystery, intrigue, or even amusement for literate onlookers. I mean, this is something information that is being written on the walls, on some sort of bricks or something like that. So that is just information for the literate people. So if they used to understand these pictures, that's fine. If they are not going to understand, they need some peoples or persons who can decrypt the information. या तो हम क्या करें, उस दौर के लोगों को लाएं और वो आके इसको डिक्रिप्ट करें. ठीक है. या फिर हमारे पास इतने लिटरेट पीपल्स हों, those who can understand what these pictures means, right? Okay, some clay tablets from Mesopotamia, somewhat later, are clearly meant to protect information. They encrypt recipes, presumably commercially valuable. Now, what they are going to do? Mesopotamia, जो आपके पास civilization थी, वहाँ पे आपके पास क्या था? They used to store the information on a little bricks. वहाँ पे वो लिखते थे, and then they are going to enclose or wrap them inside some sheet, and then they are going to send that information to somewhere or to some people or some organizations or something like that. I mean, this is just the information. आप लोग ये देखें कि किस तरह से आपके पास cryptography evolve हुई है, ठीक है? And these are the different ancient civilization and what they are going to do to transfer their information from one place to another place in order to make it secure. ठीक है, अब हमें नहीं पता कि उनकी ओरिजिनल लैंग्वेज क्या थी, लेकिन इसके ऊपर लिख के जो वो भेजते थे, तो सो दैट एनी थर्ड पर्सन कैन नॉट रीड दैट इंफॉर्मेशन. देन द वेरी बेस्ट आइडिया, जो पहला पहला आइडिया क्रिप्टोग्राफी का आया, दैट वाज कॉल्ड एज योर स्काइटल. अब स्काइटल क्या था? एन अर्ली डिवाइस फॉर एनक्रिप्शन. दैट वाज अ डिवाइस दैट दे हैव डिजाइन्ड so far. One of the oldest known example is the Spartan skyttle. Skyttle rhymes with Italy a baton. The skyttle was first mentioned by the Greek poet Archelaus, who lived in the 7th century BC, over 2500 years ago. अब एक्चुअली स्काइटल था क्या? स्काइटल आपके पास क्या था? स्काइटल इज अ सॉर्ट ऑफ ancient Greek, and the Spartans in particular are said to have used this cipher to communicate during military campaign. और सबसे पहले तो ये आपके पास military type of things में use होता था, ठीक है? Sender and recipient each had a cylinder called skyttle of exactly the same radius. The sender wound a narrow ribbon of parchments around his cylinder, then wrote on it lengthwise. After the ribbon is unwounded, the writing could be read only by a person who had a cylinder of exactly the same circumference. अब इसकी एग्जांपल आप इस तरह से ले लें, आप दो पेंसिल्स ले लें, दो पेंसिल्स के ऊपर एक रिबन को रैप करें. रैप करने के बाद उसके ऊपर आप कुछ भी लिख दें, और लिखने के बाद उस रिबन को उतार लें, और देन आप उस रिबन को भेज दें किसी दूसरे दोस्त के पास जिसके पास उसी सर्कमफ्रेंस और उसी डायामीटर की वो पेंसिल है. अगेन वो क्या करेगा, जैसे ही वो उसके पास रिसीव होगा तो वो क्या करेगा, उसको अगेन इसी टाइम इसी तरीके से रैप करेगा अपने पास जो पेंसिल है उसके ऊपर, और जब उसको रैप करेगा देन ही वुड अंडरस्टैंड एक्चुअली व्हाट यू हैव रिटन ऑन टू दैट पर्टिकुलर पेंसिल. नाउ यू कैन सी हियर. अब मैसेज क्या था? ओरिजिनल मैसेज वाज किल किंग टुमारो मिडनाइट. ठीक है जी, मार दो इस बेचारे को जो भी है, ठीक है. अब ये उसने लिख के भेजा, and then that message is being encoded. I mean, अगर हम उसमें देखें, कॉलम्स में देखें, तो it would be something like, जब आप इसको अनरैप करेंगे तो it would be look like KTM IOA LMD LON KRI IRG and NOH or GWD. This is something when you unwrap that particular, I mean to say that रिबन, राइट. अब जब दोबारा आप रिसीवर एंड के ऊपर इसको दोबारा आप लगाएंगे उसी पेंसिल के ऊपर या उसी डाया के आई मीन डिवाइस के ऊपर, तो अगेन यू वुड बी गेटिंग द सेम message that is called as kill king tomorrow midnight. Now if in between some person having the same dias device, अगर उसके पास इस तरह की पेंसिल मौजूद है तो वो इस रिबन उसको मिल जाती है, वो इस मैसेज को डिक्रिप्ट कर लेगा. सो दिस वाज द फर्स्ट डिवाइस दैट वाज बीइंग डिजाइन्ड सो फॉर रिगार्डिंग स्काइटल फॉर द क्रिप्टोग्राफी. और ये इस तरह से कुछ था, और इसको आप इस तरह से इस चीज को आई मीन एग्जीक्यूट कर सकते